They laughed at them, mocked them, even sang songs to shame them. But what they didn't know was these two fat sisters were born to shine. This is not just a story. It's a journey from mockery to marriage, from pain to power. Before we dive into this touching story, please take 1 second to subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us share more emotional and inspiring stories that touch lives and teach deep lessons. If you love stories that speak to the heart, this is the place for you. So hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and let's begin. Chloe and Diana were sisters, big, not just older than their cousins, but big in body, big in heart, and full of laughter. They were born in London, England, to loving African parents who gave them everything they needed. From the moment they were babies, they stood out. Other babies were small and light, but Chloe and Diana were strong and chubby, with round cheeks and big brown eyes that could melt anyone's heart. Their mother, Mrs. Walker, used to laugh and say, "These girls did not come to play. They came to eat all the milk." Growing up in London was nice. They went to good schools, lived in a clean, quiet neighborhood, and had everything a child could dream of: warm food, soft beds, loving parents, and good clothes. But something always followed them: people's eyes and people's words. In primary school, some children whispered things like, "Why are they so big? Are they twins? Did they eat too much?" It hurt, but Chloe and Diana never let it stop them from smiling. They had each other. They played together, watched cartoons together, danced around the house, and laughed at their own jokes. Even when people stared, they held hands and kept walking. Their father, Mr. Walker, always said, "The world may see your size, but I see your strength." But back in Africa, there was someone who missed them deeply: Grandma Rose. She called every week. When are you bringing my grandchildren home?" she would say on the phone. "They need to know where they come from. Bring them to Africa. Let them eat African food, speak our language, and know our culture." Their mother always replied with a laugh, "Mummy, don't worry. One day, we'll come home." Chloe and Diana grew bigger and stronger. They were not just big in size, they were also big in dreams. Chloe wanted to be a doctor. Diana loved computers and dreamed of becoming a software engineer. Whenever their parents played African music in the house, something stirred in their hearts. The drums, the songs, the stories, they didn't understand it all, but it felt like home. Mr. Walker came home with an announcement. "We are moving back to Nigeria. Grandma is getting older, and she wants to see her grandchildren. It's time you girls knew your roots." Chloe and Diana were shocked. "Move to Nigeria?" Diana said. "But we've never even been there," Chloe added. Their mother smiled gently. "Don't worry. We love it. It's different, but it's where you're from." So they packed up clothes, books, shoes, even their teddy bears. The day they left London, the skies were gray, and the air was cold. But there was excitement in the air. "I wonder what Nigeria will be like," Diana whispered at the airport. "Hot," Chloe said, laughing. When the plane landed in Port Harcourt, the heat wrapped around them like a blanket. People moved fast, the air smelled different, and everything was loud: car horns, music, market women shouting. It was wild and beautiful. Grandma Rose was at the airport. "My daughters. Look at you. So fat and beautiful. I will feed you better food here." The girls laughed and hugged her tight. Port Harcourt was nothing like London. Chloe and Diana knew that from the moment they stepped out of the airport. The streets were full of life: buses honking, loud music playing, street vendors shouting, and people walking everywhere. The air smelled of fried plantain, pepper soup, and roasted corn. It was hot, really hot, and the girls were already sweating before they got into their grandma's car. "Mummy," Chloe whispered, "why is everybody outside? Don't they have houses?" Her mother laughed. "Welcome to Nigeria, my daughter. This is how we live here. People like to be outside talking, selling, doing business." Their grandma couldn't stop smiling. "You girls are too fresh. You need real African sun. Just wait, you become strong like lion." As they drove through the city, Chloe and Diana stared out of the window. They saw women carrying baskets on their heads, children playing football on dusty roads, men pushing wheelbarrows, and churches on almost every street. "It's like a movie," Diana whispered. They arrived at Grandma Rose's house, a big compound. There was no heater, no bathtub, and no carpet. The toilet didn't flush like the one in London, and they had to use a bucket of water. They shared one big bedroom with a ceiling fan that made a clicking noise all night. Everything felt strange. The food was spicy. The mosquitoes were bold. The electricity kept going off. "Mom, why is the light always going?" Chloe asked one night. "Nipa has taken light," Grandma Rose said, fanning herself with a wrapper. "You people from abroad are not used to real life. Here, we survive everything." But day by day, the girls started to adjust. They ate jollof rice, agusi soup, and suya. They learned to shower with a bucket. They even laughed when the power went off and used candles to tell ghost stories. They loved sitting with Grandma Rose in the evenings. She would sit on a wooden chair outside, peeling oranges, while telling them African folktales. Long ago, in a village, she would begin, a clever tortoise tricked a foolish lion. She spoke in pidgin, and sometimes in a local language. The girls didn't understand everything, but they loved every story. After 2 weeks, their parents took them to register in a nearby secondary school. "You start next week," Mr. Walker said. "Remember, people here are different. Just be yourselves." The girls wore their school uniforms, blue skirts, white shirts, and black shoes. As they entered the school compound, many students turned to look at them. "Who be these ones?" one boy whispered. "See how big they be. They be Oyibo fat girls," another laughed. Chloe and Diana walked straight to the principal's office, pretending not to hear. But their hearts were beating fast. Their first day in class was strange. The teacher spoke in fast English, mixed with local slang. "Open your textbook to page 42, the teacher said. "Make una listen well, no be play we come play." The girls looked at each other, confused. During break, they sat together, quietly eating their snacks. But a group of students passed by, laughing loudly. "See their big yonch," one boy shouted. "Fatty fatty bomb bomb," another girl sang in a teasing tone. "They no fit run oh. They go break chair." Chloe looked down at her food. Diana blinked back tears. It felt like London all over again, only louder. When they got home that day, they went straight to their room and shut the door. "I don't like it here," Diana said, wiping her eyes. "They're mean." Chloe nodded. "They don't even know us. Just our size." Later that night, they told their parents what happened. Their mother looked at them, smiled gently, and said, "My daughters, don't worry. You are beautiful the way you are. One day, a good man will come and marry each of you. You see." Grandma Rose added, "Don't let small children's mouth break your spirit. Those who laugh today may clap for you tomorrow." The girls tried to believe it, but it wasn't easy. Every day in school brought more teasing, more songs, more laughter at their bodies. Fat girls, walk like elephant. 2 trailer sisters. They hated it. But they had each other. They would talk and cry, but they also promised one thing. "We will not give up," Chloe said one night. "We'll be the ones laughing." And so, they kept going. School was tough, but they studied hard. Even if people laughed, they never missed class. Even if people whispered, they never fought. They just focused and quietly dreamed of something bigger. They didn't know it yet, but their story was only beginning. Every school day was like walking into a battlefield. Chloe and Diana would wake up early, dress in their uniforms, and prepare for war, not with fists, but with hearts. At home, everything felt peaceful. Their parents showed them love. Grandma Rose cooked them pepper soup and told them wise words like, "A coconut does not fear stones. Let their words bounce off you." But once they stepped into the school compound, the mocking began. It was never quiet. "Here come the twin trailers. Fat and fatter. Make way oh. The ground go shake." Some students even made a song just to mock them. It went, "Fatty fatty bomb bomb. Walking like drums. When they sit, the chairs go cry. When they run, the ground go fly." They laughed, danced, and sang it loud, especially during break time. It was the kind of bullying that doesn't just touch your ears, it touches your heart. Diana would try to hide her tears. She would pretend to look for something in her bag just to avoid eye contact. Chloe would clench her fists and whisper under her breath, "I will not cry." Sometimes they reported it to the teachers, but the teachers only said, "Ignore them. You know children can be playful." Playful. That was not playful. That was painful. Even during physical education class, they were mocked. When it was time to run, some students shouted, "No be them again." A beg clear road. During assembly, when all students stood in rows, someone would whisper loudly, "See their uniform button. E1 burst." Diana hated sports days the most. She once tried to join a running race, but before she even reached halfway, people were already laughing. She day bounce like foo-foo. That evening, Diana didn't eat dinner. She just went straight to bed. Chloe sat beside her and whispered, "I wish we were born skinny." Diana turned to face her sister. "I wish they could see our hearts." Chloe nodded. "Let's not let them break us." At night, when everything was quiet, Grandma Rose came into their room. She sat on the bed and gently rubbed their backs. "You see this world, she began, people fear what they don't understand. They laugh when they feel small inside." She continued, "I was called Bush Girl when I first went to the city. They laughed at my clothes, my accent, and my hair. But look at me now. Even those that mocked me now call me Mama Rose the Wise. Don't let their noise enter your spirit." The girls listened. They didn't reply. But those words stayed. English class, the teacher gave a surprise test. Everyone complained, but Chloe just smiled and got to work. She finished fast and quietly waited. The teacher came into class holding the marked test papers. Only one student scored above 90%, she said. And that student is Chloe Walker. Everyone turned. "Wait, fat girl Chloe." One boy whispered. "How?" From that day, some students began to see them differently. Another time, during a group project, Diana spoke with so much confidence that even the class bully nodded. She used big words, shared smart ideas, and led her team to win the top score. Suddenly, whispers changed. "Those fat girls sabi book oh. They smart Shaw." Of course, some students still mocked them. Not everyone changes at once. But the sisters had started building something stronger than insults confidence. They began to hold their heads higher. They walked boldly, smiled more, and responded with silence when mocked. The school announced a cultural day celebration. All students had to wear traditional African clothes and perform something, a dance, a poem, or a drama. Diana suggested to Chloe, "Let's dance." "Are you sure?" Chloe asked. "What if they laugh again?" Diana grinned. "Let them laugh. But this time, we'll be dancing with joy." They wore bright African outfits with big head ties. On stage, they danced to a powerful African beat. Their moves were bold, strong, and full of fire. The entire hall clapped, cheered, and shouted, "Fat Girls Day Move Oh! See groove." Even the head prefect stood up and clapped. "Respect," he shouted. That evening, as they walked home, Chloe whispered, "They laughed at us before. Now they clap." Diana smiled. "I think we're finally becoming who we were meant to be." Life in school didn't magically become perfect. Inside, Chloe and Diana had changed. They still heard people laugh sometimes. They still caught whispers behind their backs. But now, they didn't cry as much. Why? Because they had found something stronger than shame, self-worth. Every time a student said, "Here comes fat and fatter," Chloe would calmly reply, "Yes, fat and fabulous. Do you want an autograph?" And the students would laugh, not at her, but with her. Diana started wearing her braids longer, wearing bold earrings, and walking with pride. She once told a classmate who mocked her, "I may take up space, but I take it up with style." The more confident they became, the more people around them changed. Even some of the bullies got confused. "These girls don't fear us again, oh," one boy told his friend. One day in class, the teacher gave them a life assignment. Write an essay titled "Who I Want to Be in Future." You'll read it out next week. That evening, Chloe sat under the mango tree in Grandma Rose's compound, writing her heart out. She titled her essay, "A Doctor Who Heals More Than Bodies." She wrote about wanting to help fat girls, depressed girls, and children who don't feel good enough. She said she didn't just want to heal wounds but broken hearts too. Diana's essay was called "Code Like a Queen," talked about her dream to build an app where young people could report bullying, find kind friends, and read motivational stories. She wrote, "Technology can be love too." When they read their essays in class, their teacher teared up. "This is brilliance," she said. Other students clapped real, honest. A few classmates even came to say sorry for the way they treated them in the past. "We didn't know you were so smart. We were just joking. No hard feelings." Chloe smiled. "We're fine. But just no jokes can hurt." A junior girl, small and shy, waited for them by the school gate. "Please, I want to be like you too," she said. Chloe looked surprised. "Like us?" "Yes," the girl said. "You don't let anyone shame you. You are strong and bold." Diana smiled. "You don't need to be like us. You need to be like you. But believe in yourself, always. Chloe and Diana became like big sisters to a few students who were also being bullied. They would sit with them during lunch and tell them, "Your body doesn't decide your future. Beauty is not small. It's confidence." Chloe and Diana had worked hard, studied deep into the night, and stayed focused. When exam results came out, Chloe was the best student in biology. Diana topped the computer science class. At the graduation ceremony, they both received awards. Even some parents stood up. Diana whispered, "Do you remember our first day here?" Chloe nodded. "I remember the Fatty Fatty Bomb song." They both laughed. Not out of sadness but out of victory. They had turned those hurtful words into motivation. They had turned every stone thrown at them into a step forward. "I said it. I said my grandchildren will shine." Their parents were so proud. Mr. Walker even cried. "You girls are my champions," he said. Mrs. Walker added, "All those people who laughed will now wish their daughters were like you." They all ate a big celebration meal. Jollof rice, peppered chicken, fried plantain, and zobo drink. There was laughter, music, and joy in the air. After dinner, Grandma Rose brought out a small wooden box. "I want to give you girls something." Inside were 2 bracelets, hand-carved with wooden beads. "These belong to my mother," she said. "Strong women wore these. Now, you will too." She tied one on Chloe's wrist and one on Diana's. "You've become women now. Not just because you finished school, but because you found your voice." The girls went to bed that night with full bellies, full hearts, and full dreams. As they lay side by side, Diana said, "Do you think we'll ever find good husbands?" Chloe laughed. "Mom said rich men will come for us." "Maybe she's right." Diana smiled. "I don't just want rich. I want kind." Chloe nodded. "Yes. Kind and crazy about me." They both laughed again. What they didn't know was that those very men were already on their way. Graduation was over. The uniform days, the school bells, and the bullies, they were all behind them now. Chloe and Diana had entered a new phase of life, adulthood. At first, everything felt uncertain. They had finished secondary school with flying colors, but what next? "I don't want to sit at home and get fat doing nothing," Chloe joked one morning as they ate breakfast. "You mean fatter," Diana laughed, holding her cup of tea. They both laughed so hard, their mother shook her head and smiled. "You girls are crazy. Just wait, God is preparing something big for you." Chloe got accepted into a university in River State to study medical laboratory science. Diana was offered admission in a nearby school for computer engineering. "Different schools," Chloe said sadly. On the day they were packing to leave, Grandma Rose pulled them aside. "Distance is nothing when love is strong. Stay true to yourselves, and always remember your greatness is not in your size, it's in your spirit." They hugged her tightly. "We'll call you every weekend," Diana promised. "And send pictures," Chloe added. At first, they were nervous. Would people laugh at them again? Would they make new friends? Would they fit in? They were no longer the same scared girls who used to hide when mocked. They were women now, braver, stronger, wiser. In their different universities, they joined clubs, led group projects, and even spoke during campus events. People noticed their confidence, their intelligence, and most of all their kindness. Chloe became known as Nurse Big Smile because she was always helping others with joy. Diana was nicknamed Mama Tech because she could fix computers faster than most guys in class. Of course, some still stared. Some whispered. But now, the whispers didn't sting. Chloe used to say, "Let them look. We're worth looking at." Diana would reply, "As long as they keep talking, it means we're shining." They both feared it wouldn't be easy. People often judged women by looks, especially in big cities. But they were ready. Chloe applied to a big hospital in Port Harcourt. At the interview, the HR manager looked at her file, then looked up. Impressive results. But tell me, what makes you stand out?" Chloe smiled and said confidently, "I bring more than results. I bring heart." She was hired the same day. Diana got a job at a top tech firm. On her first day, one of her male colleagues joked, "I hope you can code better than you climb stairs." Without blinking, Diana smiled and replied, "I don't need to climb stairs. I build platforms." Everyone in the room went silent. Then, they clapped. That day, her respect level shot up. They bought new clothes, went to the salon often, wore perfume, and walked with pride. Their social media pages were full of pictures, dresses, heels, captions like, "Soft life loading. Thick and thriving. God is not done with me yet." Their inbox was always full. Men were trying to shoot their shot. "Hey beautiful, can I take you out? You're the kind of queen I need. Your smile is killing me." But Chloe and Diana were not rushing into anything. "We waited all our lives to be seen," Diana told Chloe one evening. "Now, we must wait for the right one to really see us." Chloe nodded. "Not the one who likes the body, but the one who loves the soul." They sat in the living room, wearing makeup and looking fly. Grandma looked at them and said, "See wives material. If no man comes now, I we go and find husband for you by myself." Everyone laughed. Mr. Walker added, "Any man that marries my daughter is blessed already." Mrs. Walker said, "My daughters are not just fat. They are full of grace." They all clapped. It was true. The girls who once cried at mockery were now glowing like queens. They had jobs, joy, confidence, and a home full of love. But something big was about to happen. Their story was not just about strength. It was about to be about love. He was tall, gentle, and always dressed in white shirts and cologne. He had come to the hospital to visit his younger brother, who had been in an accident. Chloe was assigned to the case. She moved around the ward with her usual warm smile, giving medicine, checking charts, comforting patients. Victor walked up to her. "Excuse me," he said. "Are you always this kind to everyone? Or is my brother just lucky?" Chloe smiled. "Kindness doesn't choose people. It's who I am." He smiled too. "I'm Victor. You're Chloe," she said. "Nice to meet you." They shook hands. And from that moment, something clicked. She had shared a video on LinkedIn, explaining how to fix a software bug using simple code. It went viral. Kelvin, a young tech billionaire and founder of a digital startup in Lagos, commented, "Smart. Direct. Brilliant." Diana replied, "Thank you. Coming from a pro like you, that means a lot." He replied again, "Let's collaborate sometime. Or at least have coffee." She wasn't sure at first, but after weeks of chats and virtual meetings, they finally met in person. He flew to Port Harcourt just to see her. When they met, he looked at her and said, "You're even more amazing in person. You walk with pride and think like a genius. You're the whole package." Diana smiled. "You're not bad yourself, Mr. Tech Giant." Victor began visiting the hospital more often, not just for his brother, but to see Chloe. He would bring her lunch sometimes and sit with her during break. "You're different," he told her one day. "So many people are loud and flashy. But you shine quietly." Chloe blushed. "I've never been anyone's ideal size." "Ideal." Victor laughed. "You're the woman I prayed for." He showed up with flowers and said, "I want to know everything about you. Your fears, your dreams, your childhood, and I want to be part of your future." Chloe couldn't stop smiling. Kelvin was no different. He took Diana to tech conferences, introduced her to business partners, and even invited her to help design a new app. "You're not just my girlfriend," he told her. "You're my teammate." They would stay up late talking about life. Diana once told him, "All my life, people only saw my size. You're the first to see my mind." Kelvin smiled. "That's the part one fell in love with fire." Victor invited Chloe to a fancy dinner. There were roses on the table, music playing, and candles everywhere. He got on one knee and said, "I want to love you forever, not in secret, not in shame, but boldly, proudly, and publicly. Chloe, will you marry me?" "Yes." Victor. "A million times, yes." Kelvin surprised Diana during a tech event. In front of the entire crowd, he said, "Behind every strong man is an even stronger woman. But with Diana, she walks beside me, not behind. My queen, my compass, will you be my wife?" Diana froze for a second, then shouted, "Yes." The same people who once laughed at them were now clapping. "You mean those fat girls from school? They married rich men. God, when you inspire me. Please tell us your secret. Forgive us for the past we did not see your light." But Chloe and Diana didn't brag. They didn't mock. They simply smiled and kept moving forward. Chloe's wedding colors were gold and white. Diana chose royal blue and wine. Both weddings were grand destination weddings with hundreds of guests, fireworks, music, and even magazine photographers. On her wedding day, Chloe walked down the aisle in a flowing lace gown. As she stood beside Victor, he whispered, "You're the most beautiful bride I've ever seen." Diana wore a fitted dress with sparkles that danced in the sun. Kelvin kissed her hand and said, "Today, I marry a queen." Grandma Rose was there, crying tears of joy. "I said it. My girls will wear white and shine like stars." Mr. and Mrs. Walker were the proudest parents on earth. They didn't let shame win, their father said. They turned pain into power, their mother added. Chloe and Diana were now wives of wealth, but they remained humble. Mentorship programs, and start body confidence foundations. Their message was simple. Love doesn't come when you change yourself. It comes when you love yourself. They weren't just living comfortably. They were glowing inside and out. Soon, they became mothers. Chloe had two lovely children, a boy named Jaden and a girl named Amara. Diana gave birth to twin girls Faith and Hope. Their kids were strong, smart, and happy. Whenever Chloe looked at her children, she whispered, "They will never know the pain we went through." Diana said the same thing to her husband once, during bedtime. "Our daughters will grow up proud of their bodies, just like their mother." But something special started happening. People from their past, those who once mocked them, began reaching out. Old classmates who laughed in school were now sending messages like, "You were always different. I see it now. Can you speak at our event? I wish I had treated you better." One of the boys who sang that Fatty Fatty Bomb song sent Diana a long apology on Facebook. "I have daughters now," he wrote. "I understand what pain looks like. Please forgive me. Fat is not failure. Don't shrink to fit, grow to shine. You can be thick and still win big." Chloe started a foundation to help plus-size girls become nurses, doctors, and caregivers. Diana launched an app called Brave Body, where girls all over Africa could share their stories and support each other. They became invited speakers at women's events, university seminars, and radio shows. Newspapers wrote about them with headlines like, "From mocked to married, the fat sisters who changed the game, powerful, plus-sized, and proud. African queens who turned pain into purpose." They went to visit Grandma Rose. She was older now, her steps, but her eyes were still sharp and full of pride. As she sat on her chairs surrounded by grandchildren, looked at Chloe and Diana and said, "I told you. I told your mother to bring you girls home. I told you a good man will find you. Look at you now." They laughed, hugged her tightly, and said, "You were right, Grandma. You always believed in us even when we didn't believe in ourselves." She looked at them both and said one last thing. "Let the world keep watching. You haven't even started yet." And so the story ends, but their legacy lives on. From girls who were mocked in school. From the back seat of shame, to the front row of success. To every girl listening, whether they call you names, mock your size, or try to dim your light. Remember Chloe and Diana. They didn't change who they were. They grew into who they were meant to be. And so can you. And that's how Chloe and Diana, two fat girls once laughed at, rose above the insults and turned their pain into power. They were mocked for their size. Judged before they were known. But instead of hiding, they rose. Instead of changing for the world, they changed the world around them. They found love not in spite of their bodies, but because of their boldness. They became mothers, mentors, and millionaires in heart and mind. And today, their story is not just theirs. It belongs to every girl who has ever been made to feel small. So if you're watching this today, maybe you've been laughed at. Maybe you've cried in silence. Maybe you've felt like you're not enough. This story is your reminder. You are more than the names they call you. You are more than your body. You are a masterpiece. And your time is coming. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below if this story touched your heart. Please, like this video if you believe beauty comes in every size. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more powerful African life stories that will make you think, cry, and smile. Because on this channel, every story has power, every life has meaning, and every voice deserves to be heard. Until next time, remember, you are not too much. You are just enough for the right people. Thanks for watching. See you in the next story. I love you all. Bye.